Thank you, everybody, for coming to the Aaron Torres Podcast YouTube page. I do have one quick favor before we get to the video that you came here for, and that is very simply this. You see that little red subscribe button below this video? Go ahead, smash that subscribe button. It really does help me. It really does help this channel grow and my audience grow. So go ahead and hit that red subscribe button. And now, here is the video that you came here for. I love all sports. I love what I do. I'm blessed to do what I do. Love college football, watch the NFL, watch the NBA for the playoffs. But there is something special about this time of year. Late February, ramping up into March, NCAA Tournament, Final Four, National Championship. It goes without saying there is not a single sport on the planet that has a better postseason than college basketball. And on top of that, this is the time of year where it really starts to ramp up, where the games really start to matter, where it really starts to mean something. And there was not a single game that better exemplifies that than what we saw on Tuesday night at Bud Walton Arena in Fayetteville, Arkansas. There, the number one ranked Auburn Tigers walked into Bud Walton with a 22-1 record. Nothing but respect for Auburn. I've had Bruce Pearl on this show. Love what they have done this season. But they walked into a hostile, insane environment and walked out with an 80-76 loss, just their second loss of the season, first loss since they played UConn in the Battle for Atlantis. And so I want to break it down. I want to get into this bananas game because I'll say this. One, Arkansas has once again arrived. Two, I actually respect Auburn more after what I saw on Tuesday night in Fayetteville. But before we get to all that, let me start by saying this. How great is college basketball, and how great is the fan experience in college basketball? And I know I've said this a million times. I know I've said this, I've probably done this rant 5, 6, 7 times throughout this college basketball season, but it is so great to have fans back in the stands. And there are so many great environments in college basketball. I was in Tucson last week for Arizona, UCLA. It was bananas. Auburn has a great home environment. Rupp Arena, Fog Allen. You could go on and on. By the way, Texas, we criticize and make fun of Texas. Austin was awesome on Monday night for the Kansas game. But I bring it up to say I don't know that there is a better example of how cool, how awesome big-time college basketball is than what we saw on Tuesday night in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Not saying it's the best home court advantage in America, but I would put what Bud Walton Arena was on Tuesday night up with anywhere in college basketball this season. The fans start lining up on Monday morning. I had Arkansas fans tweeting me videos, tweeting me pictures of fans lining up for this Auburn game Monday morning. Getting intense, staying overnight. Coach Muss in his sling as he recovers from shoulder surgery, walking tent by tent, giving fans high fives and hugs and taking pictures. By the time the game started, literally videos, miles of fans waiting to get into that arena. They get into that arena, everybody's wearing white, and it is a zoo from the beginning. And then from there, we get a really awesome game. Now, it wasn't a perfect game. Auburn certainly struggled early. Arkansas struggled down the stretch, or in the middle kind of stretch period. And down the stretch, it was just crazy. But Arkansas ends up forcing overtime. And what I would say is we are once again seeing a vintage Arkansas Eric Musselman team. This is a team that earlier in the year lost 3 straight games to open SEC play. Arkansas fans, you don't want to admit it now, but I had some of you saying it's time to move on to baseball season. Instead, this is what Eric Musselman does every single year. And by the way, listen, I've had Coach Muss on this podcast a million times. Some of you guys, oh, you love Coach Muss. No, I respect the hell out of Coach Muss. I respect the hell out of Coach Muss because he does this every single year. I have been watching him since the Nevada days. And at Nevada, at a school where he started doing the transfer thing before anybody did, it didn't get figured out overnight. But this guy shows up and in year 1 wins 24 games. In year 2 is in the NCAA tournament. In year 3 is in the Sweet 16. In year 4 starts the preseason at the University of Nevada in Reno. It was a top 10 team in the country. And then he goes to Arkansas, and he's doing it again. And the best example of it was Tuesday night. And I'm going to get into what he's done since he got to Arkansas in a minute. The stats, they will blow you away. But what he does, every school, every program has a brand. The good ones do. They have a brand when it comes to college basketball, college football, right? UConn basketball under Danny Hurley. Tough, physical, throw elbows, blood. If there's no blood, there's no foul. Nate Oates. I know Alabama's struggling right now, but I respect the hell out of Nate Oates. Threes, layups, fast, tempo, statistics, analytics. You know what Coach Muss's thing is? I'm going to have guys that are about 6'3 to 6'8, and we're just going to run up and down the court, and we're going to play harder than you. And that is exactly what we saw on Tuesday night at Bud Walton Arena. I don't know if Arkansas was the definitive better team. I actually came away really impressed by Auburn, and we're going to talk about them in a minute. But Arkansas just kept chipping, take a lead, lose a lead, take a lead, lose a lead. Not because they're a bad team, but because Auburn's an awesome team. Take a lead, lose a lead, take a lead, lose a lead, fall down, come back. And what do they end up doing? Last possession, key play. What happens? They find a way to make a play because this is what Eric Musselman teams do. J.D. Notte with the steal. Layup, tie game, go to overtime. Arkansas wins. Arkansas wins, and it's absolutely bananas. They upset the number one team in the country. And I will tell you this. I have a vivid picture in my head from this game that I don't think I've seen in college basketball all year this year. Maybe once or twice. But it was in overtime. Walker Kessler, who I think might be the most underrated player in college basketball. Walker Kessler fouls out in overtime. He has his hands on his hips because he knows that he has given it his all, and we're going to talk about Auburn in a minute. But instead, what happens? The camera cuts to Bruce Pearl. And this is no disrespect to Bruce Pearl. I love Bruce Pearl. I've had him on this show. He's incredible. He's been great to me. But I bring it up because there's this picture in my head. Bruce Pearl is just staring out into space because he knows that his team gave every single thing they had, every single ounce of energy. They're down their starting point guard, Zeb Jasper. And there's nothing left. And there's nothing he can do. There's no substitution that he can make. They just lost to a better team. And so Arkansas ends up winning. And again, it goes back to this is the Musselman magic, man. And listen, there's a lot of great coaches in college basketball, so this isn't just about Coach Muss. Like I said, we got great coaches. Bruce Pearl's a great coach. Mick Cronin's a great coach. Mark Few, for all the criticism he gets, is a great coach every single day. Mark Few gets the opponent's best shot, and they usually win by 40. But what is so incredible about Eric Musselman, he takes these teams, and he doesn't always have it figured out in November. It's like Calipari. Doesn't always have it figured out in December. But all of a sudden, every year, he starts to figure it out early to mid-January. And that's exactly what happened this year. Lose 3 in a row to start SEC play. They're struggling. Who knows how good they are? Are they going to be able to figure it out? Are they an NIT team? Are they not going to? Oh, all of a sudden, they start winning games. Then they win at LSU when he's out with surgery. They win a couple more games. They win a couple more games. They win a couple more games until they get to this moment against Auburn on Tuesday, and they just refuse to lose. And so what I would just tell Arkansas fans, enjoy this moment, okay? Enjoy this moment because it's not supposed to be this easy. It's incredible to me. Again, I've watched this guy since the Nevada days, and I'm sorry to over-exemplify or over-hype or whatever. It's not supposed to be this easy, guys and girls, right? Think about it. This guy goes to Nevada, as I said, in year 1, wins 24 games. They won like 3 the year before. I forget the exact number. It was like 3 or 6 or 8 or something. Wins 24. Year 2 NCAA tournament. Year 3 Sweet 16. Year 4 starts in the top 10. Fast forward to Arkansas. Gets to Arkansas. Year 1, they would have made the tournament, but 1, there was no tournament. And 2, their best player, Isaiah Joe, second best player, gets hurt, is out for most of the season. Then last year, it's the same as this year. It's November. We're figuring it out. It's December. We're figuring it out. All of a sudden, you look up. They can't stop losing. They can't stop winning. They can't stop winning. I don't remember all the details, but I think at one point they won 11 straight SEC games. This year they're currently on a 9-game win streak in SEC play. They're currently on a 9-game win streak in SEC play for the 9-game win streak this year. So I think they had an 11-12 game win streak by the time that it was snapped in the SEC tournament last year. And they have a 9-game win streak right now, 8 straight games in SEC play. This is how good Eric Musselman is. I looked this up. Arkansas had never had an 8-game SEC win streak. They hadn't had an 8-game SEC win streak since 1993-94. Not sure if you heard Arkansas won a national championship that year. They got one last year. They're currently on a 9-game win streak, 8-game SEC win streak. So think about that. They did not have an 8-game SEC win streak from 1993-94 till the time Eric Musselman got there. Now they have 2 in back-to-back years. And it shows how special this team and it shows how good it is. And listen, the SEC is not for the faint of heart. And we're going to get into that in a minute because I have another thought on the SEC overall. But what I would say is this. I know I said it a few times now, but Arkansas fans enjoy this moment. It's not supposed to be this easy. It's not supposed to be this good. And you just upset the number 1 team in the country at Bud Walton Arena in one of the craziest environments in college basketball. Unbelievable night. I hope everybody enjoyed it. There was nothing better than me being on the couch, sitting on the sidelines, watching everybody celebrating at Bud Walton Arena. I know many of you were there, waving towels, Coach Muss, singing, dancing, everybody having a good time. It was just insane, man. It was just insane, and I really hope everybody enjoyed it. Again, it's not supposed to be this easy, but it is.